And there she was, Sarah, standing in the dim glow of the living room lamp, her arms crossed like a fortress wall, eyes blazing with that familiar mix of hurt and fury. The anniversary clock on the mantel, yeah, the one we'd snagged from that flea market on our first road trip because real vacations were always out of reach, ticked away mockingly in the background. It was supposed to be our 10th year married, but here we were, smack in the middle of another blowout, the argument flaring up like a match to dry grass. "You forgot again, Alex. How many times do I have to spell it out? Our life isn't just your overtime at the office and those endless spreadsheets." Her voice cracked, not from yelling too loud, but from the exhaustion of all those late nights I'd spent buried in work reports, trying to climb the ladder at my dead-end accounting job to give us something stable. I stopped dead, heart thumping hard, my mind racing with that old habit we had, the way we'd pause during fights to throw in a sharp, witty comeback, the kind that stung, but somehow pulled us back together. It was just our thing, born from real-life scraps we'd shared with friends over beers, those everyday couple squabbles like who forgot the dry cleaning or why the thermostat was always set wrong. By mid-2025, everyone we knew was talking about how common these funny couple arguments were, with searches online spiking because folks were tired of perfect Instagram lives and wanted something honest. People related to it all, the tension building in little moments, the pause before a cutting remark that somehow ended with a laugh and a hug, leaving you believing love could weather the storm. But now, in our cramped kitchen with bills stacked on the counter, it felt like a cruel joke on us. Sarah's words just lingered, and I could almost feel that invisible tension rising, like the air before a summer storm screaming, "Get ready for the hit." But this wasn't some story we told at parties. This was our marriage, right in the thick of it, mid-fight, mid-struggle, mid-everything teetering. How had we ended up here? To rewind a little. Because when you're knee-deep in anger, memories don't come linear, they crash in like waves. It all traced back to that one big fight years ago that nearly broke us but somehow defined us. Who forgot the anniversary? The classic we'd laughed about later, but it started with a simple oversight from a couple much like us, shared in whispers at a backyard barbecue. I'd played the clueless husband in our retelling, Sarah the fed-up wife. And my line? "Oh babe, I didn't forget our anniversary. I just turned it into Gratitude Day because you remind me every year why I stick around for your fiery side." It was savage, yeah, but with that thread of hope woven in. Friends ate it up, passing stories around, and Sarah? She was the one who encouraged me to lean into that banter, back when it was just our way of surviving the daily grind. Flashing back further, though it's all a blur in the heat of the moment. We met at a community college night class, both juggling part-time jobs and dreams that felt too big for our wallets. Sarah was the dreamer, sketching out plans for her nursing career, always talking about helping people through their toughest days. I was the practical one, crunching numbers in my head even then, fixing budgets for our little group projects. Our first real argument? Over splitting chores for a study group. "You always put the numbers first, not the people," she'd snapped. I'd shot back, "And you get so wrapped up in feelings that nothing gets done." But we cooled off quick, shared a slice of pizza from the campus joint, made promises to balance it better. That push-pull became the rhythm of our life together. After classes, reality slammed us. Entry-level gigs in the suburbs, her shifts at the local clinic, me plugging away at a small firm. We got hitched in a simple courthouse deal, vowing to build a home, maybe kids someday, no matter the hurdles. Those late-night talks about how every marriage has its roasts, the quick jabs that hurt but healed, shaped us. We'd replay scenarios like the forgotten errands or who left the lights on all night. Pausing in the thick of it, I'd drop something like, "Honey, if I'm the screw-up for missing the store, you're the one who turns my chaos into our safe haven. Now come claim your spot." Laughter followed, a tight embrace, and that warm feeling that we'd make it. Friends shared their own. My wife can't stand my weekend golf. He tunes out when I vent about work. We'd mimic the builds in our stories, slow simmer to full boil, echoing what everyone dealt with in their own homes. It wasn't advice, it was just real talk, fostering those bonds where people felt seen, messaging later about how it helped them patch things up. But as life got busier, my promotions meaning longer hours, her double shifts wearing her down, our own spats got sharper. I'd skip family dinners for deadlines. She'd bristle when my sarcastic quips hit too close to home. Back to now, Sarah's face flushed red. "Alex, this isn't one of our stories to laugh off. It's our 10th anniversary, and you're acting like it's no big deal." She nailed it. The stack of papers on the table included half-finished budget sheets from a new client pitch, but no pause for my usual line this time. Instead, this knot in my gut twisted tighter, the kind no quick wit could untie. What she didn't know, what I'd buried under the pressure of providing, was that work had changed me. Lisa, my coworker on the big accounts team, had become more than just a colleague. Those after-hours meetings turned into personal chats. My roasts with her felt too easy, too charged. Not an affair, not crossed that line, but the attraction simmered, ego bruising in how it made me question everything. And tonight, with Sarah calling me out, I saw the real burn was on me. I moved closer, the room heavy with everything unsaid. "Sarah, wait, it's not just the date I forgot. It's us. I've been losing sight." My voice wavered, raw for once. She lowered her arms a touch, eyes piercing. "Us? You've been miles away for months. Is it the job? Or her, Lisa?" The revelation slammed like a curveball in one of our old tales. How'd she know? A lingering hug at the company picnic? A text I shrugged off? Heart slamming, I spilled it, words messy and true. I've been a fool. The extra hours, the stress, it's all to give us better, but I got distracted. Lisa's a teammate, but yeah, there was a pull, something I felt. But it's dust compared to you, to our life. Half-truths? Maybe, but the regret clawed deep inside. She gave a harsh laugh that cut deeper than any jab. A pull? "Alex, our marriage feels like it's unraveling. Remember how we used to talk about fighting smart, roasting but recovering? But you're the one turning into the problem now." That pause landed, and in my head, the tension mounted, like cymbals about to crash. If this were a story for friends, they'd hang on the next line. But it wasn't. I took her hand, and she held on. "Sarah, if I could freeze this like we do in our talks, my line would be, I didn't forget our anniversary. I was so wrapped up chasing stability for us that I forgot you're the real foundation. Without you, it all falls apart." Corny? Sure, but her gaze eased barely. We dropped onto the couch, the anger leaking out slow. She poured out her loneliness, the dread that our banter hid deeper rifts. I confessed the Lisa thing as a stupid lapse, a signal to wake up, not something to pursue. We eased into promises. I'd dial back work, put family first. It mirrored those hopeful endings we shared, uplifting. But in her arms, the doubt whispered. Was it truly enough? Days turned to weeks after that clash. Work kept humming without my full obsession. Lisa handled more solo, her drive keeping things moving. Stories from friends kept coming. My husband's job is eating our time. It hit home hard. Sarah and I started seeing a counselor. Straight talks, no filters. Tender spots, evening walks in the park, replaying our first date at that diner, giggling over past mishaps. "That anniversary story we tell still gets me," she'd say, lacing fingers with mine. Optimism grew. But then Lisa cornered me after a meeting. "Alex, I've been feeling this for a while. It's you." I shut it down sharp, but the shame lingered. One afternoon, sorting through mail, easing into balance, I found a letter that mirrored us too well. A friend's note about their marriage straining under career pulls, begging for that signature comeback, the mental pause, tension rising. Then Sarah entered, holding a pregnancy test, eyes shining. "It's positive, Alex, after trying so long." The surprise we'd all but given up. We can be parents, but only if we fix this. That rush of sorrowful joy cracked us open. Our past fights, they'd forged our grit. Delving deeper, her history surfaced. Raised in a modest neighborhood, parents clashing over finances, icy standoffs dragging on. She'd retreat to her room, imagining families that mended. That's why our banter healed her. Me? Father split when I was young. Mother grinding shifts. I masked pain with humor, jabbing pals to connect. Those lines, my defense. As her pregnancy progressed, arguments mellowed. We even role-played our tiffs for the counselor, unscripted and intense. Friends appreciated the realness, connections strengthened. Further along, delivery looming, anxiety mirroring our old builds. A small spat over baby names heated up. "You want trendy, I want roots." Sarah vented, pause. I offered, "How about roast?" Every clash we've had scorched the surface, but it shaped us for this. Tears mixed with chuckles. We've ticked echo, symbolizing our paths' resonances. But the true pivot awaited. At a family gathering, our first big one in ages, chaos erupted. Lisa showed uninvited, cornering us during a toast to the pregnancy. Relatives buzzing. "Alex, face facts, tell her." Sarah stiffened, hand on her belly, the baby stirring like it felt the turmoil. Guests from dozens to hushed silence. In my panic, I knocked over a glass, crash echoing. Sarah's expression, raw devastation, not fury but profound grief. "Is it real?" she murmured, voice carrying. I nodded, tears flowing. A slip in judgment, but I choose us always. Lisa pushed. "The connection we have." Sarah halted her, tone fracturing yet resolute. Then her comeback landed, not cleverly biting, but vulnerably profound. "Alex, Lisa, you've torched my security, reduced our world to rubble, but here's mine. I didn't choose flawless marriage. I chose the one that tears at my core, because in the ache there's our baby, this tangled, genuine life we're crafting. Go, Lisa. Alex, battle for us, or forfeit the story that's truly ours." The room stilled, then murmurs. Heartbreaking. But there's light, relatable pain. Lisa departed, head low. We wrapped the evening early, but Sarah whispered to the group, "Fights aren't finales, they're the breath before renewal. Hang in there." Alone, we clung, weeping, shattered, absolutely. Trust splintered. But forward, scans clear, sessions mending us. Friends rallied with their turnaround tales. Circling back for fuller picture, Sarah's upbringing ordinary, arguments over groceries rumbling through walls she'd fantasize escape in journals. College, I was the witty guy veiling isolation. First outing, local cinema, debating dramas versus comedies. We blended, emotions raw. Our vows 2023 amid economic pinch. Sarah, let's craft a life that endures. Early days, simple routines, lines like, "Overlooking dates, my flaw, but loving you, timeless. Steady build. 2024 raises family ties. 2025, couple strife talks everywhere, our experiences fitting the mold." Lisa's role, 2024 hire, vibrant addition. Her spark energized meetings, overtime blurred boundaries. Spark fanned in a team tension chat, her quip, "If I'm office ally, Sarah's the core, no substitute." Yet looks betrayed more. Afterward, expecting brought intimacy, her midnight hungers, me mimicking a craving skit to amuse. Spats gentler, room decor, "You decide hues, I'll bring fun." Kids' debut phrase, likely hug. Smiles, spark reigniting. Delivery neared, her doubt, "What if we repeat my parents' errors?" I embraced, "We'll falter, jest, repair, that's our way." Echo emerged robust, cry piercing like an opener. Room filled with loved ones' cards, your journey inspired our fix. Months passed at a casual reunion. Lisa, mended as acquaintance. Sarah echo nestled answering, "How pardon the fracture?" Her closing the turn, straightforward with a retort that wounds yet restores. "You fractured me, but amid fragments we're resilient. Marriage skips no jabs, it's the dawn post-storm. Nothing's irretrievable, it's rebirth." Attendees? Tearful, yet applauding. We? Transformed, wounded but authentic. The ordinary triumph.